Retreat series, Dhamma talk number 3. We are all here practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, mindfulness, insight. And if one is serious and want to succeed in what you are doing, progress right to the end. Okay, the basic requirements. Number 1 is one must have a desire. Okay, desire to incline the mind towards the object of arising. Okay, always there is one object, physical or mental, is always arising at every moment, arising and passing away. And you must have a chanda, or a noble desire, to incline your mind, okay, to lean your mind towards that object. Okay, I want to, I will. Incline the mind so that I could observe every object that is arising without missing. The basic desire, basic chanda, that's number 1. And once you have the desire, then you must, now I'm going to make sure that I will not miss any object that is arising and passing away. I'm going to do my best so that I won't miss, so that I will be with that object that is arising at the moment, to know all its qualities and characteristics. In other words, you must have a determination now. Determination so that you will not miss. Your mind will be always with the object that is arising. That's the number 2 requirement. And number 3 is I will put my utmost effort, the ardent effort, so that I will not miss any object that is arising and passing away, and I will be with every object that is arising and passing away. If you have those 3, first of all is desire to be with the object at that present moment. Secondly, you make a determination that you will not miss any object. And thirdly, you put all effort, your utmost effort, so that you won't miss and you'll be with every object that is arising and passing away. If you have these 3 qualities, you will succeed in this meditation. And if you are short of any part of it, then you will not be successful. We should keep our mind out, because we are here to practice this meditation, and not simply practicing, to be able to succeed, to grow, to progress, to understand. That is our objective. That is Satipatthana Vipassana. And as we said before, the Buddha taught us this mindfulness insight meditation to us in many different ways. Many different ways, based on the character, nature, the level of intelligence of persons. But he approached and he taught us in many ways. Today we are going to approach how to reach the goal, based on one of the Buddha discourses, sutta or sutra discourses. And in here, the Buddha always travel, okay, except for 3 rainy season, middle of July to full moon day of July to full moon day of October. For 3 months, himself and all of his monks, they stay in one place. And they meditate, they contemplate, and also, of course, if there are people who comes and approach where they are staying, okay, they will teach. So that is the tradition. But once the middle of October passed and to the next full moon day of July, 9 months, the Buddha's travel, not only him, he sent all his monks, all his bhikkhus to all directions. They travel and they are supposed to teach and share the Dhamma the Buddha has taught. To those people who are interested, who wants to learn, but not to force upon them. And with that in mind, he sent out all his bhikkhus to all directions. And that is their job, basically. They travel on foot and goes and teach. So the same way in the Buddha also travel. Of course, when Buddha travel, there are always some monks follow him. And as he was traveling along the Ganges River in India, and near the city of Kosambi, on the Buddha rested by the bank of the Ganges River, sit under a tree with all the monks, everybody sitting, taking a seat and contemplating. And while they were doing so, the Buddha saw a log floating downstream along the river. A log just flowed down. And one thing we need to understand is whenever Buddha taught something, okay, it is not making and gathering people, have an audience and teaching. There must be a situation, a condition, an incident that happens. Somebody might come and ask something, and he will teach something. Or somebody happens to that person on a situation, he will teach something. And if he see or hear something right in front, and he will use it as a tool or an example, and he will teach something. That is how he teaches. All his discourses, there's a time, a place, a condition, a situation, an event. Based on that, he taught. And in here too, he was sitting and resting as he was traveling. A log floated around the Ganges River. He saw that, and when he saw that, he called attention to all his bhikkhus who are with him. Hey bhikkhus, okay, look at that log. It's floating around the Ganges River and is flowing down the river. Of course, when you are going down the river, eventually its destination is the ocean. Eventually it will meet the ocean. So look at that log, and if that log is not caught on this bank of the river, okay, it will reach the ocean. And also, if that log is not caught On the other side of the river, it will reach the ocean. And also, if that log is not submerged, okay, in the water, it will reach the ocean. And also, as it is flowing down the stream, if that is not caught or embarked upon an island in the middle of the river, it will reach the ocean. And also, if that log is not taken out from the river by the humans, it will reach the ocean. And if that log is not taken away or taken out by the devas, celestial beings, it will reach the ocean. And if that log is not sink, okay, in a whirlpool, it will reach the ocean. And finally, if that log does not get rotten from inside and then break into pieces, it will reach the ocean. So Buddha just pick up that, see that log, and he used that and show them. Caught on this bank, caught on that bank, the other side of the bank, sink submerged in the water, caught on an island, taken out by the human, taken out by the devas, and drowned in the whirlpool or rotten from inside. And if that log is not caught by any one of these, finally it will reach the oceans. So it was very obvious. He pointed out all the traps that could stop the log to reach the ocean. And then he said, in the same manner, a person who is practicing, who is practicing meditation, mental culture, mental development, with a goal, with an objective to reach Nibbana, the end of all physical and mental suffering. That Nibbana is like an ocean. So if a bhikkhu or anyone who is practicing and developing or culturing the mind, bhavana, to reach Nibbana, they have to dodge all these different spots along the way. So that is where to go. And what does it mean? Like the log is now, if it's, let's say, caught on this bank or embarked upon this bank, it won't reach it. In the same manner, yogis are now practicing now. The bhikkhus are practicing, yogis are practicing. And of course, practicing in a serious manner. Their objective, their goal is to reach Nibbana, the end of all physical and mental suffering. That is their objective. With that objective in mind, one is practicing. Not just having a little weekend retreat, just to de-stress. Just to have a little break from this world. But quite seriously, that's objective, that's a goal. And if that's the case, the person is practicing. And when he's practicing, of course, we all know, we practice, and then there are many things at retreat, There's a pain, a hip pain comes and the back pain comes and oh, my back, my car accident injuries, my knees, I fell down and was my knee dislocated, and so on. And then, eating, I can't eat much, I don't have enough sleep. And then suddenly you begin to worry about this, worry about that. So Whenever this discomfort, pain or discomfort or illness or disease pops up, you begin to worry. When you begin to worry, you begin to favor, your mind is moved towards these kind of discomforts or illness. And then your mind stuck on it. That's what it means by embark on this side of the river. Okay, to put in scriptural terms, the six senses, the six sense base. What is that? Eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, and then touch base. Okay, six, and the mind base. And these bases, especially in this as the five bases, the mind takes them five as an object. And especially the touch base, if you really understand the touch, it is everywhere in the whole body, not only the surface, not only the skin. And even inside the body, you can tell there is a sensation. Sometimes you have a gastric pain. Sometimes there's because you are not used to not eating dinner, so the stomach growl and there's a move, you can feel the sensation. This why? Because of the touch sensation, puttapa, ayatana, the touch sensation. So basically the whole body, but in the scripture it's called six sense bases. If you are favoring these six sense bases, if you are focusing on these six sense bases, you won't be able to concentrate and meditate. And if that's the case, you are embarking on the sides of the river. So, of course, we don't have to be, at our level, we don't have to be blindly doing it. If there's a pain, okay, purposely check it out. Make sure that it is, whether it's need an emergency situation, things like that, and so on. If not, take appropriate actions and then just leave it behind and meditate. And if you don't favor these six sense bases, your mind will be focusing on the object of the present moment. And then, if you can do that, you will reach the ocean, the Nibbana. So that's what it means by this side of the river caught. And then caught on the other side of the river. What does it mean by caught on the other side of the river? The other side of the river is, again, as we have the five sense basis, physical basis, just like that, there are also five objects outside. Okay, not from inside, it's from outside. Okay, forms that we see, sounds that we hear, smell that we smell, odor that we smell, taste from the taste bud, and the touch, and even the dwelling and the ideas and the mind. Okay, we are fall in love if we crave for it. Okay? If we become attached to it, if we can grasp on any of these objects, the external objects, objects of desire, vittu, kama. Vittu is the object, kama is desire. If we get caught into these objects of desire, then we won't be able to practice and we won't reach our destination. That's what it means by caught on the other side of the shore. Okay? This side of the shore, six sense bases, internal six sense bases. The other side of the shore is all the objects of desire of the five senses. So if you don't get caught by these five external objects of desire, then you will reach the ocean, the Nibbana. And then thirdly, submerge or drown in the water, in the middle of the water. What it means is, in scriptural term, is very simple. Kamatana, Bhavatana, and Vibhavatana. That's what is Kamatana is. Kama is all these senses. Tana is craving for the senses in general. But what it means in this context is, what do we do? What it is, our whole life is. Okay, we are always chasing and living with all these senses, all these desire. We are acting according to these. We are loving it, we are eliminating it, we are trying to get it, grasp it. That's what we do. In other words, we are in love with our life. In one word, all these actions in one word is life. We are in love with our life, we are in love with our existence. In other words, we are attached, Dhamma, crave. Okay? Crave and attach to our own present, current existence, present life. That's what it means by Kama Dhamma. Okay? We love our life, we love our existence, we crave and grasp our present existence, this life. And then the next one is called Bhavatana. Bhavatana is life. This is again, you are grasping, craving, and living with the idea of being eternal. Okay, life, eternalistic view. Okay, your life is, it won't die, it won't terminate, it goes on and on and on. It is the body, is the shell, it discards, and this life goes on eternal. Okay. So the views can be break down into many, but just one word is eternalistic view. If you are in love with that eternalistic view, also that is one way of living or believing. The first one is you have the view of this craving to this life, and in other words, craving for many lives, never-ending lives. And Vibhavatana, we mean negation. It means, no, this is it. This is the only one. We live, we die, finished. Okay. Uddecha deti. Okay. It is the annihilation point of view. So if you hold on these kind of three views, one is the view on holding on, grasping on this present existence, present grasping on life. Another one is having an eternalistic views, and another one is annihilation view. If you hold on these three views, that it means you drown in the river, you are submerged in the river. But if you can let go of these three views, okay, basically all with life in a various mode, present, current mode, eternal mode, and annihilation mode. If you can let go of these three views, you will reach Nibbana. So that's number 3. And then the flows on, and what it is, it caught or it embarks on the island in the middle of the river, island. So what does it mean by it in terms of our practice, the island? What is an island? An island is you are right there alone, okay? Everything is around, water flowing, everything, but regardless, you are there safe, alone, and standing by yourself. That is the meaning of the island. In here, what it is people, in one word, is called mana, conceit, or pride or conceit. Some people have this great pride and conceit. I know, I'm right, okay? I can do anything. I don't need to depend on everything. Everything is about I. Me. And you look down upon everything. You look down upon everybody. I'm superior. Superiority complex, in one word. Okay. Pride, conceit, or superiority complex. And if you have that, you might be practicing these Satipatthana Vipassana meditation. You might be progressing like leaps and bounds, very fast, faster than anybody. Okay, you see a lot of insight. All these things are happening very rapidly. Okay. And sometimes you even have a sense, I know better than the teacher. I know better than anybody I know around. That kind of things happen. Okay. Because of that pride, that conceit, not having humility. And when you have that conceit or superiority complex, even in the condition of practicing Dhamma, you will not reach Nibbana. You will progress a lot, but you would never really truly see the Dhamma. You might know about Dhamma from the books, from the reading, from listening, and intellectually you might even understand, but the true nature of the Dhamma will never unfold into you, and you and the true nature will never become one. That will stop you. So if you can let go of that superiority complex, even in the practice, even in the Dhamma, you will reach the ocean. So that is what it means by the log caught on the island in the middle of the river. And then the Buddha said, if this log is not taken out by the human, okay, the log's flowing down, and there are some people down there, and some villagers, they saw the log and they might try and rope it up and put it out so that they can build a house or build a bridge or something. That is the natural order of things when people are living in the olden days. They don't even have to go and cut a log. And it is already to use whatever they need. And Buddha used that as an example. And one thing here is, in our society we live, and what is it? We are even called social animal. Okay? We love our family. Okay? We love our friends. We love all our acquaintances. We have to expand our field of acquaintances. We like to be with people. We like to have parties, gatherings, and so on and so on and so on, never ending. We all know what kind of things. In other words, basically, you love to be with people. You love to have attention of the people. Okay? Some people love more than the other. Some people cannot even live without it. Some people, if they cannot talk, okay, if they do not have conversation, they feel totally uncomfortable. They be totally uncomfortable to be alone, to be with your own thoughts. They love people, they love attention of people, they like to be with the people. And if the yogis, even in the yogis too, okay, like especially if you go to big meditation center, you will see them, because when you are only about 4 or 5 like us, it is easy to contain, and also we control the environment. But in a big centers and monastery, there are hundreds of yogis, and there are hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, and also there are people like they volunteer, and you become aware of them, you become acquainted with them, and you interrelate with them. And also your family might come and visit you Of course, okay, you are meditating, visit you, but you feel so good. They come and meditate, and they see you as meditating with your proper attires and very serene face, and they have pity, the people have pity, and in turn you feel good about it. That's it. You don't have to throw a party to be with people. Even in a meditation center, your relatives, your friends come in and see you, and you have that kind of feeling. At that time, it is very obvious. The mental states are very clear if you observe. So that's what it means by, the Buddha said, if the log is taken away by the human out of the river, if a yogi is, have a high interest of interrelationship, conversation, you love people, you love audience. If that's the case, you will not reach the Nibbana. One must let go. What we call the social animals, the social aspect in our practice, we have to avoid. That's one. And another one is, if the log is not taken out by the devas, celestial being. Of course, celestial being has power. They can make the log embark or put it onto land. It is not that they just go magnetize a log and put it on that thing. They created a situation. The waves come in, the winds come in, they got onto it. That is the way they can take the log away from the river. And in here, what it means is people are practicing. Okay, we all are practicing. Our objective is for Nibbana. But one thing was, if we really look at our own psyche, we like to be comfortable. We like to be pleasant. We like to have a better status, better standing. That is it. Our life comfort, our life status, we always want to be better. Even next life, we want to be reborn, even in a human, richer, smarter, more famous. And also, we want to be reborn in Deva realm, because in all the sutras and all the story, we know how great, how pleasant the Deva realm is. In other words, heavenly abode. All the angels, where the angels live, it's great. So you have that, okay, Nibbana is far away, still far away. Okay, in between while I'm practicing, I have to go step up my little status. Okay, maybe I'm not sure I will get to Nibbana, but maybe next life, maybe to the Deva realm. Your mind's inclined to the Deva realm. And if you have your mind inclined to the Deva realms, and if you are doing good, you will be going in that direction and on that path. That's what it means by, if the log is taken out by the Deva. So don't incline your mind for the existence in the heavenly and angel realms or celestial realm. And if not, then you will reach the ocean, you will reach the Nibbana. And then if the log is not caught in the whirlpool, it will reach the ocean. This whirlpool is, there is a pleasure. Some people have excessive enjoyment into the sense pleasure. And when you go excessively into the sense pleasure, you can never come out. It is like a whirlpool. It will suck you down. Those are the people who become addicts and alcoholics and psychoholics and drug addicts. And also, they are always people, you don't have to go to that extreme of addiction. They are always people engaging one after the other. What do I do? Okay, I'm going Get up now, get up, and then I go for a run, and after the run, okay, that feels good. Next time I'll go out with a coffee, and after the coffee I'll go to the gym. After the gym, okay, get a friends, and then okay, let's go snowshoeing, skiing, and so on and so on. You're engaging one activities after another. In other words, those are the engagement, the planning, the activities are something that you really love and enjoy. So you are engaging one pleasure after the other endlessly. Program, I have to look at the calendar, I have to look at my timetable. Okay, I can give you a little bit of 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, I have this, I have that, and so on. Everything is planning out and doing things that makes you feel good and pleasurable. Even to that level, I will say, you got drowned in the whirlpool, in the sense pleasure. You don't have to be to the point of addiction. But in a way, they are addicted to this level, but so settled, you think you are living a normal life. In fact, most people think, I'm living a normal life. I earn my money, I enjoy myself, I do what I feel good, I don't hurt anybody, I don't harm anybody. Okay, that is the way they think, and that's the way they live. Well, if that's the way they think, they live, that's fine for them from their point of view. But if your objective is to attain Nibbana, to reach Nibbana, that becomes a hindrance. That will suck you down into the whirlpool, into the water, and you won't reach the ocean. And then the last one is, if that log is not get rotten from inside and then break into pieces, one will reach the ocean. That's the last example the Buddha gave. What it means is, rotten from inside. In other words, you are corrupted, you are rotten from inside. The morality. Okay? Your morality, you know yourself. Most of the people, they might do something immoral, but they will hide it. And on the surface, with other people, they pretend like they are the great, outstanding citizen. But it is not. We have seen so many, like the most obvious ones are the politicians and all these officials, of high-ranking officials. They're supposed to be upholding the law, but they are the one who is underneath corrupting and breaking all these laws and doing all sort of things. Only when they get caught, then there's a trouble. That's what it means by rotten from inside. You are morally corrupted. And for us, is in general, just average, everybody is the 5 precepts. If we can uphold the 5 precepts, that's great. Okay. And if we are breaking some of the precepts, okay, number 1, be aware. Number 2, admit that you have done yourself wrong, done yourself harm, and then correct it so that it won't happen. Because it is very easy to say only 5 precepts, but depending on what level you are looking at, it is not that easy. So it is our constant battle to be morally upright. Okay. In a gross form, in a medium form, in a finer form. There are so many forms, so many levels. Based on whatever you can, one must be able to live. In that way, the log will not get rotten from inside. And for the yogis and people who they call it uposatha, okay, observe a special observant day. And we even have our own little observant day. In a special observant day, we observe 8 precepts or 9 precepts or 10 precepts. During that period too, whether it is 1 day or 1 week, if you are meditating, that's about a few days. During that day, you are observing 9 precepts. Make sure that your 9 precepts are properly observed and not broken in any pieces. And if it does, you always self-admittance, self-correctness, and determination not to do it again. And for the bhikkhus, for the monks, their precepts levels 227. So those at that, based on who you are, what you are, where you are, what you are doing, the precepts are different. But regardless, if you are morally corrupted from inside, you will not reach Nibbana. But if you can uphold and upright the moral code that we are supposed to be observing, then we will reach Nibbana. That is how Buddha put it. Okay. Basically, the same thing, if you look at it. Okay. We talk about, let's say, how to deepen your practice, meditation practice for about 60 hours. That 60 hours, you can find this in this little sutra. First of all, what? Fundamental, must be morally upright. You have to have a moral code. And when you are practicing, don't have people coming and socializing. Don't make it into a social affair. And then when you are practicing something good, don't intend yourself to be born in a better existence, Devaram. And if you are, before you come, make sure that it's a restraint. Make sure that you are not immersed into the pleasure. And then, even if you are progressing, don't be too cocky and to be too proud. Okay. That's what it's saying. And then, here too, what is it? You must have the right view. Okay, the right view, samadhi. Okay, not it is the mind and matter. It's a physical phenomenon, mental phenomenon. It's not an I, not self, and not being, and not person, not individual. That is one self. And then it is not a eternally going on, just one thing, indestructible. And it is not that it is simply disappear. You have to practice with the right view. And then you must observe all the objects that you come in contact with, not to embark on the other side. And then you have the eye base, ear base, nose base, the objects, external rupa, material, eye base, internal rupa, material. And then when they come in contact and feeling and so on. You know the whole system, how it goes. So there seems like a little story with the log, but it covers the whole spectrum of it, all the things. If you want to talk in details, the Buddha talks for 45 years, but all the talks that he talks, it's in this little example or simile with the log. It is in there, covers. So it is the whole perfect roadmap, okay, perfect roadmap from every extent, from the moment before you start practicing, and then while you're practicing, when you're in growth, and how to do, what to do in this little simile of the log, covers everything. Buddha taught at a different time with a different example for different people. And also Buddha has a mental power to know, okay, who has the capacity to be enlightened. In other words, who has parami, and who is at this moment listening, and what will touch that person. Those kind of things Buddha has insight into it, his power, mental power or psychical power. Even though he was talking to these monks, maybe about 20, 30 monks he is traveling with. At that time, nearby, there's a cow herder. In the West, we call it cowboy. A cow herder. In Asia, cow herder is just a guy with a little stick and then mind about 10 or 20 cows. Okay, bring it in the morning, bring it out to the pasture, and the evening take it back to the village. And he got paid for that. And that is his job, because he doesn't have much education or other qualities of skills. So he has to earn his living by cow herding. And at that moment, there was a cow herder when the Buddha was teaching. And the cow herder was intently listening. Intently listening, and it's very simple. Of course, I try to explain a lot more into detail. Buddha didn't explain in that much. Just simple. Don't fall in love with objects. Don't get too much favor to your own body while you're practicing. And have the right view. It's not an eternalistic, the right view about self. Don't be cocky, have pride. Don't enjoy people. Don't do it for Nibbana. Don't get into the pleasure. Be morally upright. That's about it. Buddha talks in a very short, straight to the point basis. And the cow herder was listening, and he reflected himself. This Buddha taught all these things, and I have everything of these things. Oh, I want to go to Nibbana, where all suffering ends. The cow herders approached the Buddha late after the talk. So I have listened to your talk intently, and I'm quite sure I have all the qualities that you said. It will reach Nibbana, it will reach the ocean like the dog. I would like to become a bhikkhu, a monk, and practice this. And the Buddha looked at him, and Buddha knows that he has the parami to be enlightened. And what he said was, well, right now you have a responsibility. You are herding the cow. That's your job. And your job is supposed to take it back home. So why don't you take all the cows back home and give it to its owner and tell him that this is the last job you are doing it, and then you come back. So the cow, because you have the responsibility, if you take the responsibility, you must finish that responsibility and fulfill that responsibility. So the cow herder takes the cow back to the village, give it to his owner, and he came back. And the Buddha ordained him and then taught him how to practice Satipatthana Vipassana meditation. And he listened to what the Buddha said, listened to the instruction and practice, and soon he became Arhat. So in Buddhism, you don't have to be a super intellectual, bright mind, mean mind to be enlightened. Of course, that helps in a way. But at the same time, if you have enough intelligence to understand, and practice and follow the roadmap the Buddha set out, one will become enlightened. One will become Arhat, which is the last life in which you face with physical and mental suffering. That is how this, they call it simile of a log, or parables of a log, a sutra or discourses the Buddha gives at the bank of the Ganges River. So may all of you be able to reflect upon this simile and follow its example so that we can all reach Nibbana without any obstacle as soon as possible. Sadhu, 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 Buddham pujami. Dhammam pujami. Sangham pujami.